Welcome back then guys to this live stream. It is now time for the feature race for IFMC GP2, and if you didn't see what happened yesterday in qualifying, it was Felix Rosenqvist who completely dominated the qualifying session to take pole position and to retake the lead in the Drivers' Championship, with Lando Norris qualifying in second and Sergey Sirotkin in the EMR qualifying in third place. Hopefully we're in for a very interesting race as we get to see for the first time how everybody will cope around the new Turn 1 for Hungary in IFMC. So we've got 42 laps of action coming your way for the feature race. So hopefully we're in for a good race. So before we start then guys, let's mute this, turn this up a little, and let's have a look at the grid for the feature race here at Hungary. Here we go then, so on pole position, it is Felix Rosenqvist with Lando Norris in second, Sergey Sirotkin is in third, with Lynn in fourth, Lance Stroll is in fifth, with Mitch Evans in sixth position, seventh is George Russell in the Red Bull Academy car, with Pierre in eighth position, ninth on the grid is Louis Razia, followed by teammate Jolyon who starts in 10th, 11th will go to Sean Goliath, 12th place will go to Luca Ghiotto in the EMR, on row 7 it is Nato, still struggling in the Lightbase Sony racing car in 13th, Santiago Eriksson starts in 14th position. Sergey starts 15th with Joel Eriksson in 16th position. Nyck Vries starts 17th with Nobuharu Matsushita in 18th position. 19th goes to Luca, 20th for Sasha Fenestras. And on the back row of the grid it's the two RSPC racing cars. Dan Tickter in 21st, and due to his qualifying ban, Yuri Vips is 22nd and last. And that is the grid for the feature race here at Budapest. So if you can hear my dog in the background as the Hoover for some reason is on. So there is the grid then guys for the feature race, and the weather for 42 laps of action is bright and sunny, so leave your predictions, but without further ado, let's get to the feature race. So here we are then on the grid then. A little bit of an awkward grid it must be said. But we have Rosenqvist on the right, Norris on the left, who's going to get the lead into turn 1 as we wait for the 5 red lights to go off to signify the start of the feature race here at Budapest for 42 laps of action coming your way. 1 light is on, 2 lights are on, 3 lights are on, 4 lights are on, 5 lights are on. And it is go for the feature race here at Budapest. It's a good start from the front two. Rosenqvist gets a slightly better start, nice. Sirotkin with a fantastic start, trying to get up to second place, but a little bit blocked off as they go down towards turn 1. Who's going to grab the lead? Keeping on Lynn in the background. Lynn going to the inside into turn 1. How's this going to work out? Lynn down the inside into turn 1, and Lynn leads. Lynn leads the feature race here at Budapest. A great start from Lynn from 4th on the grid. Good start from Russell to get up to 4th. Sorry for second, he get 5th now. Into turn 3, down the inside of Mitch Evans. Into turn 3 we go, and he takes the place. Up to 5th goes George Russell, and let's see if everybody's got through okay. I think everybody's got through okay. Yes, they have. Vips bringing up the rear, but it's Lynn who leads the way, followed by Rosenqvist. Nice in third, but Nice trying to look to the inside of Rosenqvist. Into this right hand, he's going to try and dive it down the inside into that corner. Isn't quite able to make it work out. Rosenqvist just able to hold on, as now Lynn's got a bigger gap in front than what he had earlier, as Rosenqvist having to fend off a few cars behind Sirotkin. In 4th place, Russell now right behind as they all go down towards the chicane for the first time today. And, well, very interesting stuff as Lynn leads the way as he makes his way around the S's for the first time today in this feature race now then, as he leads the way, getting away now from Rosenqvist. Rosenqvist starting to pull a gap between himself and Norris. There's Sirotkin all over him now then as I go through the S's. Down this straight now then, can we see maybe some overtaking being done down this right-hander? Sirotkin in the slipstream now then of Norris. He's going to look to the inside, down into the right-hander. Will Sirotkin pull this one off? Down the inside he will go, and Sirotkin just covers him off around the outside into that corner, and well, more train of cars starting to form as, well, there's a bit of a gap forming now as Nato started to drop back. I wonder if there was a little bit of contact a little bit earlier on because, well, Urishi is now down the back of the field, so something's happened to him in the race. But at the end of lap 1 then, of 42 in this feature race, it's Lynn who leads the race, followed by Rosenqvist in second, starting to close him back. Norris 3rd, Sirotkin 4th, Russell 5th, Evans 6th, Stroll 7th, and Gasly running out the top 8 as now Russell looks to the inside of Sirotkin. Can he try and get the move done down the inside into turn 1? But Sirotkin covers him off into that corner to keep on a 4th place for the moment now then. And, well, Sirotkin loses a little bit of time to Norris as a result as they go down towards turn 3 on the track. As Sirotkin tries to chase down Norris right in front of him at this stage. As now we go around the section of corners now, and there's a bit of contact between Fenestras and Vips there. Luckily, Vips didn't take full advantage to get all the places. Tictum's now down to the back of the pack, so something has happened to him now. Then so Tictum down to 22nd in this race now. Then as they all make their way round the chicane now. Then as Rosenqvist tries to close back that gap on Alex Lynn as they make their way through the S's now. Then for the first time today, around the S's we go. As Sirotkin now then trying to get hold of Norris in front of him at this stage as they come out of the right-hander. Rosenqvist doing whatever he can to close him back, as meantime Sirotkin not close enough to get Norris this time by. As a few cars try to chase down Russell. Russell goes defensive as you can feel the pressure from Mitch Evans forming behind him as they make their way round the second to last corner now. Then Rosenqvist trying to pile the pressure on Lynn. Sirotkin closes back onto Norris as a result. Russell having to keep his wits peeled at this stage. And so that's that really as far as they are concerned. As Tictum now at the back of the field. Lynn continues to lead, but Rosenqvist trying to gain onto his slipstream. Meantime, round Sirotkin in the slipstream, and Norris is going to look to the inside into turn 1. Norris trying to shut the door, but Sirotkin's already alongside. Can he try and break a little bit later into turn 1? Norris tries to stick it with him now then, but Sirotkin just has the edge, and up into third place he goes. As up into 5th goes Evans, he passes Russell, so up into 5th place goes Mitch Evans into turn 1 there then. As well, that's that really. As Palmer takes 9th from Razzie. As meantime, Matsushita looks to the inside into that left-hander there, but Razzie are keeping him back for the moment. As well, some overtaking being done down at turn 1 then. So that's that really as far as they are concerned. Rosenqvist still not within the slipstream of Alex Lynn at this stage now then. As they round the right-hander on the track. Sirotkin trying to close the bottom of the can as he's starting to leave Norris for dust. Russell, though, still keeping hold of Evans and looking to try and regain 5th from him if he can as they go around the chicane now then. And in terms of the mandatory pit stops, and, well, that's very interesting. I didn't expect that. It seems that they're all filled to the end of the race then. So I have put it to a 60% race. Why are they all filled to the end? That is the big question. Unless that's fooling me there, because everybody is on a heavy fuel load, it must be said. So that's very interesting. Why are they on that amount of fuel? I don't know. I hope that's not the case for all the races, really, because that would be a disaster, really. So if that's the case, people not looking like they're going to be pitting then, because I don't know why it's done that. So Rosenqvist now, as he comes down the straight, will Rosenqvist get the move done on Lynn? He's going to look to the inside of Alex Lynn. Lynn tried to go defensive, but Rosenqvist was already onside. Can Rosenqvist try and break a little bit later into turn 1? Down the inside he goes, and he takes it. Rosenqvist back into the lead of the race now then. As meantime, Russell had a lover go at Evans there, but Evans shutting the door into that hairpin there to keep hold of 5th. At this stage is Palmer down the inside of Stroll, and he takes 8th with ease, so up to P8 goes Jolyon Palmer as Seti Kamara takes 15th from Yoa, so back up to 15th goes Sergio Seti Kamara as a form of train of cars starting to form down at that bit there then. And well, that's very interesting in terms of fuel there. Never really experienced that before. As now up towards the right hander we will go. And as you can see, Rosenqvist trying to hold off Lynn as best as possible. Lynn still sticking with him. Lynn not giving up on the lead at this stage now then. And look like Rosenqvist took a little bit of a wider line in towards that chicane as we go through the S's now then on the track. And Lynn might be starting to lose a little bit of time now at this stage. So Sirotkin trying to close him in now for 2nd place as they round the S's now. Then Russell starting to lose time, it seems, to Evans, which is not what he needs. As we've got a yellow flag. Why we got a yellow? That's Lynn. That's Lynn that's gone for a spin down at the exit of that right-hander. Let's see what on earth happened there to Alex Lynn. And he's just overcooked it a little bit, understeered off. And, well, has gone for a spin as a result. So, well, that's that really for Alex Lynn. And, well, that's a chance for podium down the toilet for Alex Lynn. And that lifts Sirotkin now then up into 2nd place. And onto the podium will go, trying to think, will go Lando Norris as a result. Lynn trying to get the car turned around, which he does so, but he finds himself down in last place as a result. So down in last goes Alex Lynn. Meantime, Russell's starting to close back in onto Evans in front. As they now go down towards turn 1 on the track. And Russell now then heading down towards the first corner now. Then we will go. And he will now come around turn 1. And Russell trying everything within his power to get hold of Evans in front of him at this stage. as they just make their way round the right-hander. Up towards turn 3 we go. And he just rounds that left-hander. Heading down the hill towards the flat-out right-hander now, then we go. And using quite a lot of grass there, it seemed. A lot of outside there. In towards the left-hander, then goes Russell. As he tries everything within his power to get hold of Evans in front of him at this stage. Here's Rosenqvist now with a big gap as a result of Lynn going off of that right-hander. Sirotkin will want to try and hunt him down in the EMR if he can. That is if he has the pace. As he now rounds the S's now then into the points now, and as a result of Lynn's mistake is now Lance Stroll in the GRM. So he's up into 8th place. Gasly into the points in 6th place now then, trying to hunt down Russell. But Palmer looking to have other ideas as he tries to chase him down at this stage of the race. As Razia down to 10th, he's been passed by a few people already at this stage. Here's Rosenqvist continuing to lead the way out in front as he looks for a second GP2 victory of his career as he now rounds the final corner. Norris now then just coming off the second to last corner. He will now come up towards the final corner on the track as Norris continues to try and get back at Sirotkin, but isn't able to do so. What's the gap now then between Sirotkin and Rosenqvist as we go down towards turn 1, lap 6 of 42 here at Budapest? The gap 3.3 seconds. That's how it looks at this stage. Everybody's starting to separate themselves a little bit. I'll say that though, because Razzie are now back down the inside of Matsushita. Would he grab 9th place from the Japanese driver down the inside into turn 1? And he gets the place up into 9th place again. Goes Louis Razzie in the Willows Grand Prix car as he makes his way around those section of corners. And in towards the left-hander we go. And through the right-hander will go Felix Rosenqvist as he will come out of the turn. Using quite a lot of curb on the outside, he will now approach the chicane on the track. And Rosenqvist continuing to lead the way at this stage. We'll have a look in a little bit and see what the gap is like between the top two in a little bit and see if Sirotkin might have some pace to close up to Rosenqvist, but we'll wait and see. So he just goes his way around the S's now down on the track, still leaving Norris for dust. In fact, Norris might have his mirrors full in a bit because Evans is starting to hunt him down. So Evans looking to try and get that podium place off him if he can as they round that right-hander now then on the track. Meantime, everybody kind of stacked together it seems as they round the next few corners now then on the track. Meantime, here is Rosenqvist still leading the way as he rounds the final turn. As he continues to lead the way as he heads down the pit straight on the track. And here we go then. So what's the gap between Rosenqvist and Sirotkin this time by as they go down towards turn 1? The gap between the top two is now, let's have a look, through turn 1. The gap 3.8 seconds. So I can't remember what the gap was last time. It was around about 3 point something last time. So I don't know if Rosenqvist has increased or Sirotkin has kept the gap the same or it's decreased. I can't remember exactly. We'll have to have a look next lap to see what it was like next time round. Matsushita starting to lose time to Razia this time by as meantime Ghiotto going defensive because Nato trying to get onto him as Ghiotto at the same time trying to chase down Ghiotto for P11 in the EMR as they round the left-hander now then. There's Lynn down in 22nd starting to chase down Dan Tictum, his fellow compatriot, for 21st to start making a comeback. As now Rosenqvist will approach the S's now then. And there is Sirotkin now then. Still trying everything he can to chase him down. Whether he has the pace or not, we'll have to wait and see as he comes out of the S's now then. Up towards the right-hander we will go. And as you can see, Sirotkin will now approach the final few turns. And so now down towards the left-hander we go, and we'll have a look and see this time if what the gap is like. Last time around it was 3.8 seconds. Let's see what the top two's gap is this time by as Rosenqvist starts lap 8 of 42 in this feature race. As they come out the final turn and onto the pit straight, let's see the gap between the pair of them this time by. And let's see now then as I come down the start straight now then towards turn 1, the gap is, through turn 1 we go. As Norris is out, it's 4 seconds he's got to, but Lando Norris is out of the race. The man who was on the podium is out. What has happened to Lando Norris? There he is, as he comes around the final corner, and he's gone straight on. He looks like severe understeer into that final corner as he smacked it into the wall, as Lando Norris is out of the race, and we're down to 21 runners in this feature race. Norris's race has been done for, and that's the end of Norris's race. It puts Evans now onto the podium and puts Razia now into the points for Willows Grand Prix as he tries to chase down Stroll for P7. Stroll effectively in the Willows Grand Prix sandwich at the moment at this stage. Gasly starting to close in now on Russell for 4th place, so looking to try and make his way up through the field if he can as they round turn 3 on the track and then down towards turn 4. And confirmation that Lando Norris is out of the race as we now go up towards the left-hander on the track as Gasly does whatever he can to reel in Russell for 4th. At this stage of the race, so Sirotkin definitely not having the pace of Russell. Rosenqvist pulled 2 tenths on him last time on that lap than he did previously, and so now a gap up to 4 seconds exactly between Rosenqvist and Sirotkin. So Sirotkin clearly not having the pace to try and chase down a win, it seems. Here at Budapest, Rosenqvist continuing to lose time to Mitch Evans, who's looking strong in 3rd place at this stage. He's starting to finally get a rhythm at last after what has been a tricky start to the season for Mitch, as Russell, Gasly and Palmer look to try and duke it out for 4th place as they try and get up close to each other as they go around the final few turns. Razia getting close now to Stroll in the GRM as they come out of the corner now, then up towards the second to last corner we will go as they round the left-hander. A lot of curb being used on the outside as now we go up towards the final corner and onto the pit straight we will go. There's a lot of curb being used on the outside there down the pit straight, and Razia is currently in 8th place at this stage in the Willows Grand Prix car as they will head down towards turn 1. The gap between him and Stroll is 1.5 seconds. That's how it currently stands at the moment, as on lap 9 of 42 in this feature race. And so as Rosenqvist continues to lead the way at this stage, and so up towards the next few turns we go on the track as they round the chicane. Rosenqvist continuing to lead the way at this stage. Here's Sirotkin currently in 2nd place, looking quite solid in that position at the moment, and I have to question whether Evans might be starting to close him in. Currently in 3rd place at the moment. There's Russell, still not within slipstream range of him at this stage. Palmer looks to be getting closer to Gasly than what Gasly is to Russell at the moment in this race. We'll have to wait and see on that as the race progresses. Palmer now then coming out the right hander as he heads down towards this long run towards the final few turns. And so coming off the turn now, then using a lot of curb on the outside now then as he round the final 2 turns on the track. And coming off the turn as he will now come up towards the final corner will go Jolyon Palmer. And now coming off that corner now then on the track as he heads down the pit straight. And the gap between him and Gasly, let's see now then as they'll head down towards turn 1 on the track. The gap between them is now, let's have a look, 1.3 seconds. That's how the gap currently stands at this stage. Razzie is still not within slipstream range of Stroll at the moment. In fact, Matsushita is starting to close him back in now. So Matsushita looking to try and grab that points place if he can. As down the inside goes Ghiotto on Ghiotto, and he takes the place. Up into 11th place goes Sean Ghiotto. And, well, that's that really. It's off goes Lynn. Lynn has a problem. A transmission problem for Alex Lynn. And, well, that's going to be race over for Alex Lynn. Bringing to the end of quite a frustrating race now that you look at it for Alex Lynn. And he is going to be out of the race. And we're going to be down to 20 runners. Alex Lynn out in the Macamo car. And we're down to 20 runners as a result. So, Lynn's race ends with retirement, so he'll be starting on the back row tomorrow as a result. As meantime, Rosenqvist continues to lead the way at this stage. As meantime, we've got this interesting scrap for 11th going on between Ghiotto and Seti Kamara as they now round the S's now then. And the Ecademy looking to try and get some places if he can. Meantime, Ghiotto not giving up on Ghiotto. Ghiotto got the last time as now they come up towards the right hander. Ghiotto goes defensive, but Ghiotto doesn't go for the move, and Ghiotto keeps hold of the place for the moment as 2 more cars join the scrap, maybe even another one as well. It might even turn into a training a little bit if they're not careful. as Ghiotto rounds that corner now then on the track. Currently in 11th place and holding up a train of cars. Will Ghiotto try and get him back down into turn 1 now then, as they come out of the final turn and onto the pit straight we go. Ghiotto in the slipstream now then of Ghiotto. Will he try and get close enough to pull a pass into turn 1? It doesn't look like he's close enough. Ghiotto goes defensive even way, but not close enough that time by. As things start to separate itself now in the points places. And here is Rosenqvist continuing to lead the way. And I have to question whether they'll actually go to the end of the race with that fuel, or whether there'll be a system in there which will make him pit even with that amount of fuel. So yeah, a bit of an odd one there, guys. Not really much I can do about that in terms of the fuel. I hope that's not going to be the case for the top class tomorrow, because otherwise we'll be in for a very a long dragged race, it must be said, without a pit stop. I hope that's not going to be the case, but we'll wait and see on that. As now Rosenqvist will come up now then towards the second to last corner, as he continues to lead the way out in front in the Red Bull Academy, as he will now start lap 12 of 42 in this feature race. So 31 laps remaining for Felix Rosenqvist, and so far at this stage, with Russell currently in 4th place in the race at the moment, if the result stays like this, then the gap between Rosenqvist and Russell at the moment will be up to 7 points, maybe 8 points. It depends if Rosenqvist has set the fastest lap, of course. So, but if he hasn't set the fastest lap, the gap between them will increase to 7 points between Rosenqvist and Russell. If it remains like this at the moment, as now Rosenqvist heads down a hill through the right-hander, using quite a lot of curb on the outside. He will now approach the quick left-hander. And so coming off the turn he will go. Here's Russell continuing to lose time to Evans at this stage, as Palmer's not getting close to Gasly as much as you would want to, and just struggling to creep up of him. Stroll looks like he's getting a little bit racy, starting to close up a little bit onto Palmer at this stage, but still not within slipstream range of the Brit at this stage, as the Canadian will now go around the right-hander, as he looks to try and get some points on the board for GRM. And at this stage at the moment, in terms of that battle for second in the team's championship, I think at this stage, if I'm correct, with Sirotkin up in second and neither of the Lightbase is in the points, I think EMR might actually lift up to second in the team's championship. I could be wrong, but I believe EMR could lift up to second in the team's championship or get closer. We'll have to wait and see by the end of the day if Sirotkin is able to keep hold of second place in this race. So that's that really as far as they're concerned. As meantime, not really much battling going on. Matsushita getting close again to the, as mentioned, to the rear of Razia, but he might have his mirrors falling a bit, because Nato's getting close to the back of him as well. Nato looking to try and get some points after Norris retired earlier on, thanks to crashing out at the final corner. So in fact that could help out Gasly in his fight for 3rd place with him at the moment, as Gasly looks to try and reel him in, as those two fight it out for 3rd in the Drivers' Championship. At this stage, Ghiotto meantime has left Seti Kamara for dust, as he still tries to get hold of Goliath, but again not close enough to the Indonesian at this stage. As meantime Vips tries to get hold of Euro in front, but he's not even close enough, as he tries to make up for his qualifying ban from yesterday. And Fenestrad's now down to the back of the pack. Tickton making progress as he gets up into 18th place at the moment in this race, and looks to try and gain some more if he can, depending if he's got the pace, of course. Here is Rosenqvist continuing to lead the way in this feature race here at Budapest, as Gasly rounds the chicane, and as does Palmer. And so far now then, Matsushita trying to get within the slipstream again of Razia, but it isn't quite working out at this stage, as they now go around the S's, as a lot of curb being used on the outside there. Then as we'll now approach the quick right-hander, and now they go down towards the round the right-hander we go on the track, in towards the second to last corner we will go, and Matsushita will come out of the final turn, and coming off towards turn 3 we will go. And Rosenqvist will now go around the left-hander and down towards turn 4 as he continues to increase the lead. The gap between him and Sirotkin, I didn't think we quite saw it that time around. I do apologise for that. as Gasly is now 2.7 seconds back from Russell at this stage of the race. As we now come around the left-hander, we're on lap 14 of 42 in this feature race, so we have 29 laps remaining. And at the moment, here is what the leaderboard currently looks like at this stage. Rosenqvist leading the way with Sirotkin in second, Evans in third, Russell fourth, with Gasly fifth, Palmer in sixth, Stroll in seventh, Razia in eighth, with Matsushita ninth, Nato in 10th, Ghiotto 11th, Ghiotto 12th, Sirotkin 13th, Euro 14th, Vips in 15th, Eriksson in 16th, Urisha 17th, Tictum 18th, Vries 19th, Fenestras in 20th, and then of course we had the two retirements, which were Lynn and Norris. They were the two retirements so far in this race. As around the second to last corner goes Felix Rosenqvist as he continues to lead the race at the moment here at Budapest, as he now starts lap 15 of 42 now then here at Budapest, so 28 laps remaining in this race. And so as he continues to lead the way at this stage, as he's got quite a big gap now in front of Sirotkin, it must be said. What did that say the gap was? As they come out of turn 1 for Sirotkin, 7.3 seconds. He's got a very big gap now in front of Sirotkin, as Sirotkin's got a 4.7 lead in front of Evans at the moment. So that's that for him really. As they come down the pit straight, meantime Vips, will he try and get a run on Euro down in towards turn 1? He tries to get within the slipstream of the Austrian now then. As you can see there, Euro goes defensive into turn 1, but Vips wasn't even close enough that time by, and Euro retains 14th place for the moment. As Tictum tries to close up to the battling Eriksson and Urisha in front of him for a lonely 16th place at this stage, as they now go up towards the left-hander. And he round that corner now, they're on the track heading down the hill towards the right-hander, and they will now approach this quick right-hander on the track. And Euro goes defensive because Vip's still putting him under intense pressure. Can Vips maybe try and get a running him in towards the chicane now then, as Euro takes a wider line than Vips going around that right-hander? Will Vips maybe get the run on him into the chicane now then? Euro goes defensive and covers the inside line perfectly to keep hold of the place for the time being. As they come out of the chicane now then, through the S's we go. So through the S's then goes Vips and Euro, as they now come off the corner now then, around the left-hander and up towards the quick right-hander we will go. And now they come out the turn up towards the final few corners on the track, and as you can see, some defensive work being done there by Lucas Euro, as Vips tries to do whatever he can to get hold of Euro in front, as he now rounds the left-hander and trying to pile the pressure as much as he can on Euro's VorteX racing car. Ghiotto now starting to lose time, it seems, to Ghiotto. Ghiotto starting to pull a bit of a gap in front of him at this stage of the feature race. Meantime, can Vips try and get Euro this time by the down the pit straight now, and he's in the slipstream of the Austrian. Will Vips go for the move? Then he's going to look to the inside. Will he pull the move off on the VorteX driver down to turn 1? Euro doesn't even go defensive. Down into turn 1 we go. Has he got the place? And yes, he has. Vips up into 14th place, getting the move done on Euro, as Eriksson again going defensive, as Urisha still continues to pile the pressure on him at the moment, but Tictum behind, not really taking full advantage of it at this stage, as Vries is down in 19th, still struggling around here at this stage of the race. And here is Rosenqvist continuing to lead the way at the moment in this race, with a big gap in front of Sirotkin. And here is Palmer trying everything he can to reel in Gasly in front of him at the moment, as we're 1 minute away from the 2:30 mark. So we are just over an hour away from the for race 1 of IFMC GP3 around here at Budapest, as we look in the cockpit of Jolyon Palmer. Rosenqvist about to start lap 17 of 42 now then. So he now has specifically 26 laps remaining here at, I think it's 26 laps remaining. Yeah, 26 laps remaining in this feature race, as the laps come down quite quickly. It is obviously a short track, it must be said, and a short lap around here. Not many long straights, but you have this straight of course, and of course that run now towards the final few turns. That's possibly where most of the overtaking is going to get done throughout the weekend. So meantime, as you can see, Euro now starting to drop back from Vips, who's now up to 13th place. So something has happened to Kamara. So Kamara has had an off somewhere, because he's now down in 20th place. And he's actually lost a bit of front wing, in fact. So Kamara, yet again, getting into some bad luck. He must have made a mistake somewhere, because he's now lost half a front wing. And it's going to have to be a trip to the pits then for Sergio Kamara in the Ecademy. And that might put him a lap down, in fact, because Rosenqvist is only just coming up towards the chicane now then. So at this stage, Kamara could be a lap down from the leaders, Felix Rosenqvist, as he now comes into the pits to get that repaired. And, well, that's that really now then, as he rounds the right-hander. And into the pit lane he will go. And he'll have to change his front wing at this stage now then, as he trundles down pit lane. And there he is, the mechanics waiting for him as he now changes front wing. A quick wipe of the visor for Sergio Kamara. And let's see, will he be a lap down? Rosenqvist coming around the final corner, and I would think that Kamara is now a lap down. He's not getting any luck, it's Kamara, since he came back to GP2. And, well, the bad luck continuing for the Brazilian. As now Rosenqvist heads down towards turn 1 on the track, now putting a lap on Kamara, as he's now on lap 18 of the race with an 8.3 second lead in front of second place man Sergey Sirotkin. So Kamara rejoined in 20th position. So that's that really. And there we are really. Meantime, Urishi back on the prow of Joel Eriksson for now what will be 15th place in this race now then, as they come up now then towards the final turn. And let's see if Urishi is able to get the place off Eriksson this time by, as they go down the pit straight. Urishi in the slipstream of Eriksson. Will he try and get the move done down into turn 1 now then? He's in his slipstream, but he's even close enough. Eriksson goes defensive, and rightfully so, keeping all the 15th for the moment from Santiago Urishi in the Macamo, as he rounds the first corner now then on the track, heading down towards turn 2, and then in towards turn 3 we will go. Eriksson goes a little bit defensive into that left-hander, brings Urishi that tad bit closer to the back of him now then, as they go flat through turn 4 on the track, heading up the hill towards the left-hander on the track, as it looks like Euro is actually starting to drop back to this battle between Eriksson and Urishi, so it could be a three-way scrap for 14th at this stage. As you saw there, Eriksson went defensive into that left-hander. Will Urishi try and get a run him into the chicane now? Then he's in the slipstream of Eriksson. Would he try and pull off the move? He thought about it, but Eriksson goes defensive into the chicane and keeps all the 15th from the Uruguay driver at this stage. As a De Vries, who unseen by the cameras, and in fact, Ticktum's got a problem. Ticktum has got an engine failure. It's going to be race over for Dan Ticktum in the RSPCA racing car, and it's going to be race over for the Brit as his engine dies at the S's. And where's he going to pull off? I would think probably on the grass, probably on the left hand side, which he does. And there you have it then. Dan Ticktum is out of the race, and we're down to 19 runners here at Budapest. So that's race over for Daniel Ticktum, as the marshals now hoist him over the barriers. And Ticktum's race has come to an end as the marshals bringing out the yellow flags. And so that's that for him. And they're taking a little bit of a while just to hoist him over the barriers. Clearly they haven't got a right area. There's Rosenqvist, who's just gone past now in the frame, the man who's leading the race. And here's Sirotkin, and Kamara, of course, came out behind him, now a lap down and looking to try and unlap himself if he can. Whether Sirotkin will let him, though, that is a question. Palmer now has started to drop back a bit now from Gasly. As meantime, we've got a battle for 9th brewing now then, as the Matsushita's on the threat from Nato. Nato going to look to the inside into the chicane, and there's contact between the pair of them now then. Contact between Nato and Matsushita, and Matsushita loses a chunk of front wing as a result, and had to make Ghiotto stop there as well. Matsushita and Nato get involved in some contact, and that will have to be investigated for sure. And well, that's that really as far as they are concerned. And Matsushita going to have to make a trip to the pits. That incident will be investigated between Nato and Matsushita. And well, that's that really as far as they're concerned, as Matsushita rounds the S's now then. And Vips will get up to 12th place as Matsushita loses a bit more front wing. A little bit of that move was a little bit too ambitious, I'd have to say, there from Norman Nato. And, well, as you can see, there were the consequences there. He pushes off Matsushita, and now Matsushita's teammate Ghiotto fancies a piece of Nato for 9th place in this race. So, as they now go up towards the final turn on the track, and he now tries to put the pressure on Nato if he can, as the mechanics are waiting for someone. I will presume that's Matsushita they're waiting for in the pit lane, and in he goes to get that front wing repaired. And well, that's that really. So front wing change needed for Nobuharu Matsushita, and that's his race effectively ruined as a result, as he goes into pit lane now then, as we're on lap 20 of 42 here in the feature race. And that's that really. So let's see how quick the stop's going to be for Matsushita thanks to this front wing change. And it is, let's have a look, it's quite a long stop, it must be said. I wonder if Sergey might have some company, as it's a 22.4 second stop, as Rosenqvist close to lapping Matsushita, but I don't think Matsushita will be a lap down by the time he comes out of the pit lane. So there you go then. So Matsushita not a lap down as a result, as Sergey has unlapped himself as he got through on Sirotkin, and not wasting any time whatsoever at the moment. Whereas Evans currently in 3rd place at this stage as he comes down the pit straight, and so now up towards the first corner, and out of turn 1 we will go before going around turn 2, and then down towards turn 3 on the track we will go. And let's see now then, and as you can see, Eurasia currently 14th at the moment. It's unseen by the cameras. He's finally got past Eriksson, so he gets up into 14th place. Eurasia up into 14th, and now looks like Eriksson might come under threat from Nyck de Vries's GRM, so might look like he might have a bit more pressure to look at now then, as they go down towards turn 1 on the track. Here's Rosenqvist still leading the way as we're at the halfway stage of the race on lap 21, soon be lap 22 once Rosenqvist crosses the line. So we will have 21 laps remaining in this feature race now then. So Rosenqvist comes out of the final few turns as he continues to lead the way at the moment. I wonder if Sergey will try and unlap himself at this stage, as he looks to not waste any time whatsoever. Rosenqvist rounds the final turn, and onto the pit straight he will go, and he now starts lap 22 of 42 in this feature race. And from the looks of it, it doesn't look like we're going to get a pit stop in this feature race. It's very clear that whoever modded this track clearly didn't do the fuel for people with 60% races. I hope they've done the fuel for 100% races, but we'll have to wait and see on that tomorrow. At this stage, I haven't really got a clue what's going to happen tomorrow for the Grand Prix in terms of the pit stops. We'll have to wait and see, as now Rosenqvist goes down the hill through the right-hander, using a lot of curb on the outside as we go up towards the left-hander, and up towards the right-hander we will go, as the Red Bull Academy driver continues to lead the way as he will now approach the chicane. Around the right and left-hander we go, and so that's that really as far as they're concerned. Here comes Sean Ghiotto, currently 10th, trying to hunt down Nato as best as possible, but he's now starting to lose time to him. Of course, the incident between Nato and Matsushita is under investigation for that collision into the chicane there. So that's that really, and well, there we are then really, is now Ghiotto will come up now there towards the right-hander, as Matsushita has now set the fastest lap of the race, so 1:28.037. So Matsushita currently holding on to the bonus point for the fastest lap of the race, and at this stage, if it remains like this, the gap between Rosenqvist and Russell in the Drivers' Championship will be up to 7 points, with Rosenqvist leading it ahead of Russell. So that's that really, as they come out of the right-hander. There goes Ghiotto, as he still tries everything he can to chase down Nato for P9, but so far it doesn't appear to be working for him at the moment. There's Vips now tries to chase down Ghiotto for 11th place in this race now then, as they round the second to last turn on the track, as things have quieted down a little bit in the points playing positions, as Russell is 3.5 seconds back now from Mitch Evans in the VorteX car, as they now round the left-hander. And Russell now then heading down the hill towards the quick right-hander, as he uses quite a lot of curb on the outside now, then heading up towards the left-hander on the track. And now up towards the right-hander will go Russell, and that's that really as far as he's concerned. As meantime, here is Razia trying to hunt down Lance Stroll for 7th place if he can, and now up towards the long right-hander on the track now. Then we go, using a lot of curb on the outside as they'll now approach the chicane, the right-left chicane. Razia looking good to be in the points playing positions. Looks like so far it's looking good for a double points place for Willows Grand Prix. Out goes Santiago Uisha. Uisha out of the race. So both Macamos are out. What has happened to Uisha? Well, he had a loose wheel, but has then been punted by Joel Eriksson, I think that was, or Nyck de Vries. It was one of the two, or Sasha Fenestras, I should say. So that's that really. And let's have a look and see what on earth happened. And well, it was just poor timing really for de Vries, and he now loses a place from Fenestras as Uisha pretty much blocked him off, and a little bit dangerous there from Uisha, it must be said. So that will be investigated after the race. So Uisha out of the race with a loose wheel, and we're now down to 18 runners in this race. It's confirmation that Santiago Uisha is out with a loose wheel. So that's that for his race, and race over for the Uruguay driver now then, as Razia will come up now then towards the final few turns, as he tries everything to try and hunt down Stroll in front of him for 7th place as they round the left-hander on the track. And now down towards turn 1 we will go. Here is Rosenqvist continuing to lead the way as he rounds the right-hander, using a lot of curb on the outside before approaching the quick left-hander. And Rosenqvist continuing to lead the way at this stage, as Sirotkin still in 2nd place at the moment as they go up now then towards the quick left-hander. And so far looking good to get 2nd place at this stage. If he could just keep up the pace, it doesn't seem that Evans has got enough pace to try and hunt him down for 2nd place, and looks like Evans might have to settle for 3rd at this stage now then, as he will now go around the chicane, as we have 19 laps remaining in this race. So on lap 24.42, so 19 laps to go in this feature race. And so far things looking good for Rosenqvist to take victory here at Budapest, and to increase his lead in the Drivers' Championship as well. Not a very entertaining race. I'd probably put most of the blame on the fact that there hasn't been a pit stop, of course. I don't know why that is. I think the people that modded this track clearly didn't do anything about the fuel for 60% races. But there we are really, and I hope that's not going to be the case for tomorrow's Hungarian Grand Prix. I hope there will be a pit stop in there during the race, but we'll have to wait and see really what's going to happen for tomorrow's Hungarian Grand Prix, as Evans now then goes down the pit straight towards turn 1. 18 laps remaining now then, I think, if I'm correct. 18 laps remaining in this feature race, on lap 25 of 42 now then here at Budapest. And at this stage, in terms of how the sprint race grid will look tomorrow, it will look like this. Razia will be on pole with Stroll in 2nd, Palmer 3rd, Gasly 4th, Russell 5th, and then it will be Evans 6th, Sirotkin 7th, and of course Rosenqvist in 8th. It does look like that Sergio Kamara is looking to try and unlap himself from the race leader. If these two can keep holding each other up, if these two start holding each other up, it could bring Sirotkin maybe closer to it, but we'll have to wait and see how this one will fare out, and whether Rosenqvist will actually let him go or not. That will be the question, as they both round the right-hander now then on the track. Heading down towards the final few turns we will go. Kamara doesn't think about unlapping him down into that section, as he will now approach the 2nd to last corner. And Sergey Kamara now then around the 2nd to last corner, as he will approach the final turn on the track now then. Around the final corner and onto the pit straight we will go, and let's see if Sergey Kamara will try and unlap himself down this pit straight. And he's going to look to the inside. Will Rosenqvist let him go? as they go down towards turn 1, and will Seti Kamara unlap himself, and he does. So Seti Kamara unlapping himself, Rosenqvist letting him go as a result. So that's that for him, really. And well, it's pretty much that really for Seti Kamara, and Rosenqvist not thinking about trying to get him back at this stage, as Rosenqvist continues to have quite a good lead in front of Sirotkin in second place, as Rosenqvist flicks through the left-hander. And now around the right-hander we will go, as Rosenqvist comes off the turn up towards the chicane. And Rosenqvist, again, as mentioned, not really trying to lap Seti Kamara again, probably realising if he does, it might put him under pressure from Sirotkin after building up such a big lead. He's on lap 26 of 42, 17 laps remaining. He'll soon cross the line to start lap 27 a little bit, which will be 16 laps remaining. So the laps coming down quite quickly, it must be said, considering that we have not had a pit stop. So that's that really. So now they go around the left-hander on the track, as Kamara tries to chase down Nobuharu Matsushita. Everybody's starting to separate themselves out a little bit. Nobody's really in a battle, it must be said. And so it seems that everybody's got into a rhythm a little bit, and are probably just trying to get to the end of the race, unless they're trying to reserve their engines in case of a problem that occurs around this track. As Russell rounds the second to last corner, and he'll soon come up towards the final corner himself. And we'll have a look and see what the gap is like between him and Evans in a little bit, as they come off the final turn and onto the pit straight. And let's see now then, as we have 16 laps to go here at Budapest for the feature race, as they now come down towards turn 1, and the gap between them, let's see now then, is 4.3 seconds. So it's a very huge gap, a 4.9 second gap between Gasly and Russell in this race. So that's how that currently looks at this stage, as now Gasly will come around the left-hander, and so now he comes down the hill towards this quick right-hander on the track. And so now up towards the quick left-hander he will go, and as he uses a lot of curb on the outside as he rounds the right-hander. Out the turn he goes before approaching the right-left chicane, and through the chicane now then we go, and now up towards the chicane. And so far Gasly continuing to hold on to 5th place, and it looks like that's probably going to be where he's going to stay by the end of the race, as he comes off the turn. And meantime, looks like Ghiotto might be trying to close back in onto Goliath at this stage, but I mentioned as everybody just seems to be separating themselves out a little bit, so that's not really great in terms of entertainment. It looks like the two Lopez Racing Development cars might start to entertain each other a little bit and fight it out for 14th place, as Fenestras starts to close in on Eriksson as they go around the S's now then, in towards the section of corners up towards the quick right-hander on the track. There's a lot of curb being used on the outside as they head down the hill towards the next right-hander. And out of the turn we will go, as they now come up towards the second to last corner. And now up towards the final turn will go Fenestras, and around the final corner and onto the pit straight we will go. And Fenestras, let's see the gap between him and Eriksson as they start lap 28. Rosenqvist will start lap 29, so he'll have 14 laps to go once he crosses the line. Let's see the gap. It is 1.7 seconds between the pair of them. So we'll see if Fenestras will have the pace next time by to try and get hold of Eriksson in this race, as Seti Kamara again trying to close the one to Matsushita, but I think that's a bit too much of a gap to try and claw back in these remaining laps. So I think he might have to settle for 18th and might try and push to see if he can get a fastest lap on the board. Again, Seti Kamara just doesn't seem to be getting any luck whatsoever since he came back to GP2. And, well, so far I think Oliver Glazebrook can even feel the frustration that the Brazilian is currently facing this season, because he's just had no luck whatsoever since coming back. And, well, he'll be hoping to try and turn that around in the sprint race tomorrow if he can, as he heads down the hill through that right-hander, as he's down in 18th place. Rosenqvist on lap 29 of 42 now, into 14 laps remaining for the championship leader, as he now flings the car around the left-hander and up towards the quick right-hander he will go. Well, this long right-hander, not a quick right-hander I should say, as he uses quite a lot of curb on the outside as he now approaches the chicane. Through the right and left-hander he goes, and now up towards the S's, and now around he will go as he comes off the turn, and now up towards the next right-hander on the track, as he will head up towards the final few turns on the track, the final 3 corners, and out of the turn we go, as he will now go up towards the second to last corner, and in towards the final corner we go on the track, and off the turn we go, using quite a lot of curb on the outside. Now then we go, as they go down the pit straight heading in towards turn 1, and as you can see, Rosenqvist still leading the way at this stage, and Rosenqvist 13 laps remaining for him now then. So 13 laps to go for Felix Rosenqvist. He's on lap 30 of 42 in this race. Everybody seems to separate themselves out a little bit. Well, I say that, it looks like Palmer, in fact, might be starting to close back in onto Gasly this time by. What's going on between the two Lopez Racing development cars? Well, nothing really much. Vries still not within the slipstream of his teammate at the moment, and both of them clearly struggling, it must be said. Even Nyck de Vries behind them isn't getting onto the pace. So far, Stroll this weekend has just been way outpacing de Vries this weekend, and Stroll looking good to get some more points for GRM on the board here at Budapest, as they all head down the pit straight now then towards turn 1. As meantime, Matsushita is starting to gain onto de Vries, so we do have a battle towards the back of the field as Matsushita tries to gain back all the time he lost after being punted by Nato a little earlier on. Again, that incident is under investigation after the race. As now down towards turn 3 we will go, and Matsushita doing whatever it takes to get out of Stroll in this, de Vries in this race, as he's now within the gearbox of the young Dutchman, as they will now go up towards the quick left-hander on the track. Matsushita doing whatever he can to get hold of him. As you saw there, de Vries went very defensive into that left-hander, and will Matsushita try and get a run on him in towards that chicane now then, coming off the turn. And now up towards the chicane now then we will go, as Matsushita tries to look to the inside but just doesn't have the momentum and tucks back into the slipstream there of Nyck de Vries' GRM. Doesn't want to risk what Nato did to him a little earlier on in the race, as they now go around the S's now then on the track. Matsushita really piling the pressure now then on de Vries, as they go around these section of corners now then up towards the right hand. There we go, heading down this long straight. We're 7 minutes away from the 3 o'clock mark, so we're now 37 minutes away from from race 1 of GP3. Matsushita had a go at de Vries into that right hander, but de Vries covered him off to keep all the 16th, so Matsushita will want to try and get him onto the pit straight if he can, as they round the second to last turn on the track. Up towards the final corner then goes Matsushita and de Vries. And let's see if Matsushita will try and get the move done on Nyck de Vries this time by, as they come off the final corner and onto the pit straight we go. Matsushita in the slipstream of Nyck de Vries, and as you can see into the slipstream he goes. He's going to look to the inside. Will Matsushita pull it off? De Vries tried to go defensive, but Matsushita already alongside him as they go down towards turn 1 on the track, and Matsushita does it up to 16th place. Goes Nobuharu Matsushita in the Holy Trinity racing car. So he gets the move done in the end there then. Kamara still a long way back from that, as Matsushita looks to try and chase down Fenderstras and Eriksson, two Lopez Racing development cars for 15th and 14th respectively, as they now go up towards the right-hander on the track. Rosenqvist has 11 laps remaining. He started lap 32 of 42, so 11 laps to go for championship leader Felix Rosenqvist, as he continues to lead the way out in front at the moment, as now he will come up towards the left-hander on the track, as Rosenqvist continues to lead the way out in front of this stage. as he heads down through turn 4 and up towards turn 5 he will go. This quick left-hander will soon be coming up towards. And so around that corner he goes, as he will now go up towards the long right-hander. A lot of curb being used on the outside before he approaches the chicane. Into the chicane goes Rosenqvist, as he continues to lead the way at this stage, as he looks to try and get his second victory of the season and increase his lead ahead of Russell in the Drivers' Championship to up to 7 points. He's not holding on to the bonus point for the first lap of the race. That's so far being held on to by Nobuharu Matsushita's Holy Trinity racing car. And now up towards the chicane we go, through the right and left-hander. And Russell currently 4th at this stage now. Then Gasly 5th and Palmer in 6th position. And so now up towards the S as we go. Meantime, Nato looks like he might be starting to gain on now to Razia. Remember, he's under investigation, of course, for that incident with Matsushita. Just coming where that chicane was, he just came out of. But it looks like Nato is lapping a lot quicker than the guy in front of him, which is Louis Razia in the Willows Grand Prix car. As he looks at the moment, he's so far holding on to pole position for the sprint race tomorrow at this stage. But Nato might want to have other ideas if he is found guilty of that incident with Matsushita into that chicane. At the same time, there could be an argument that Matsushita tried to turn in onto him a little bit too much, but we'll wait and see what the stewards think of that, of course, as they will now come up towards the final turn, as Nato tries to get the move done on Razia in front, as they now head down the pit straight. And let's see what the gap is like between Razia and Nato at the moment. 10 laps to go in this race as they now head down towards turn 1. And the gap between them is now, let's have a look, 2.3 seconds. That's how the gap currently stands at this stage. As meantime, everybody seems to have settled down into a rhythm. As unseen by the cameras, Matsushita has taken 15th from Fennestrasse up to 15th place. Goes Matsushita as he now tries to chase down Eriksson for 14th place. As they now go down towards turn 1 on the track. Out of turn 1 we go. As Matsushita uses quite a lot of curb on the outside as he heads down towards the left-hander. He will go as Matsushita looks to pile the pressure on Eriksson in front of him at this stage. As they go down the hill towards the quick right-hander. A lot of curb being used on the outside now, as they'll go up towards the quick left-hander, which is just a tap on the brakes. And now up towards that left-hander we go, as Matsushita continues to try and pile the pressure on Joel Eriksson in the Lopez Racing Development car in front of him at this stage, as we're 2 minutes away from the 3 o'clock mark, so 52 minutes away from IFMC GP3, race 1 of their series. And that looks to be a very interesting race as well, considering we've got a different pole sitter than usual in the form of Lucas Di Grassi. Will he be able to convert that and take American Engineering's first ever victory in IFMC GP3? We'll wait and see. As Matsushita comes off the curb, he's getting closer now to the rear of Joel Eriksson's Lopez Racing Development car, using a lot of curb on the inside there to try and get the perfect entrance there. And he's right onto the gearbox now, the Swede. He's lapping quicker. He's obviously on fresher tyres after he had to change his front wing, so that's obviously playing into his advantage. As he now goes around the final turn, will Matsushita get the move done on Joel Eriksson's Lopez Racing Development car? They come down the pit straight now. Then Matsushita in the slipstream now. Then he's going to look to the inside. Will he get 14th from the Swede now? Then he tries to get alongside. Will he try and brake later into turn 1? He's going to try and brake that later into turn 1. Has he got the move done? And yes, he has. Matsushita up into 14th place, getting the move done on Eriksson. So up to P14 goes the Japanese driver, as he'll now try and chase down Yura in these final 9 laps of the race that he's got left up from his end, of course. Rosenqvist, though, is starting lap 35 of 42, so we now have 8 laps remaining in this feature race here at Budapest, as he continues to lead the way out in front, and he's looking good to get victory here today at the Hungaroring for the feature race. At this stage, Razia will get pole for the sprint race tomorrow. So it doesn't look like Nato is closing up to him as much as he would want to. So Razia keeping the pace quite decent between himself and Nato. We're now at the 3 o'clock mark, so we're half an hour away from race 1 of IFMC GP3. In towards the second to last corner, then we go. We'll have a look and see what the gap is like anyway between Nato and Razia this time by, as they round the final turn and onto the pit straight we will go as he goes down the pit straight, and let's see what the gap is like this time by between the pair of them. As they'll now head down towards the first corner. It's a 2.2 second gap between Vries and Nato, so that's what the gap currently stands at this stage, and Nato continuing to possibly lose time in this race as he just rounds turn 3 on the track, and currently finding himself in 9th place, and that's probably where he's going to end up throughout the remainder of the race. And what's going on with Matsushita? How close is he to the back of Yura? Well, he's getting closer to the back of Yura's VorteX car as he tries to pile the pressure on the Austrian as they go through the left-hander and then through the quick right-hander on the track, heading up the hill towards the next left-hander on the track. Matsushita still doing everything he can to pile the pressure through the left-hander, and he gets a little bit of a twitch there on the curb, so a little mistake there for Matsushita, and that puts him into a lock-up through that right-hander, showing that he's pushing hard to gain onto Yura for 13th place, trying to gain something in this race after what happened to him early with Norman Nato. And of course, just a reminder, that incident is under investigation as they now round the S's now then on the track. A lot of curb being used on the outside as he'll now approach the quick right-hander, and now heading down the hill towards the last few turns on the track, and Matsushita not giving an inch, not giving up on Luca as he looks to try and grab 13th from him by the end of the race as he now round the second to last corner. Matsushita doing a grand job in that car as they come up now then towards the final turn, and let's see what the gap is going to be like between the pair of them this time by as they go down the pit straight towards turn 1. And let's see now then as Matsushita will approach turn 1 on the track, and the gap between him and Yura as they round turn 1 is 1 second exactly, so that's how that currently stands at this stage of the race. And Matsushita continuing to try and pile some pressure on Yura at this stage of the race as they round the left-hander on the track, coming off the turn now. They're heading down towards the flat-out right-hander. No more chicane, of course, because we're obviously on the 2011 version of the track, which is the up-to-date version, as you can tell by the Pirelli boarding on the around the track. Up towards the right-hander we go, and as you can see, Matsushita still trying to get hold of Yura in front of him at this stage, and Yura doing a good job to keep him back at this stage, but you have to question how long can he keep the Japanese driver back for at this stage of the race as they now go around the S's now then. Around the right-hander we go as they go down this long straight towards the final few turns. And let's see, Matsushita's getting close now to him, so if he's able to get good enough traction, he could, and brake a little bit later into his last 2 corners, he could try and get a run him down onto the pit straight, but we'll wait and see as they round the second to last corner now then up towards the final turn. We will go on the track, and let's see if Matsushita will have a run on Yura this time by as they come off the final turn and onto the pit straight. Will Matsushita get into the slipstream of Yura? He's trying to get into the slipstream of the young Austrian, but it looks like that Yura is just going to be able to fend him off at this stage. He's going to go defensive, and Matsushita not close enough, so Yura will hold on to 13th for the moment, but Matsushita should be in prime position to get him next time by, if he can do, of course, as now they come up towards the left-hander on the track, and they round these section of corners they go now then, and look how close Matsushita is getting now to the gearbox of Yura, as they will soon go up the hill towards a quick left-hander. And so Matsushita now then around the left-hander, he's got 6 laps now then in which to try and get the place off Yura and pass him for 13th as they come off the turn now then. A lot of curb being used on the outside as they will now approach the chicane through the right and left-hander. You can see there Yura took a wider line into that chicane than what Matsushita did, so that brings Matsushita closer now to the rear of Lucas Yura at this stage. Through the S as we go, and look how close he's getting there then. He was pretty much centimetres from his rear end there, it must be said, or millimetres I should say. Coming off the turn now then, heading down this long straight. Will he try and get him into this right-hander? He's not going to think about it. In fact, he's going to remain single file into that corner, and he probably will try and get a running him down rolling him down onto the pit straight as they round the left-hander now then. Running on board with Nobuharu Matsushita. Will he get the move done this time by as they round the final turn now then, as they will go onto the pit straight? And will Matsushita get the move done? He's in the slipstream with Lucas Joas's VorteX racing car. He tucks up into his slipstream now then. He's going to look to the inside. Will he get the move done on the Austrian? Down the inside into turn 1. Has he got the place off him now then? Into the first corner. And yes, he has. Up into 13th place goes Nobuharu Matsushita in the Holy Trinity racing car. And he gets 13th place with ease. Now, does he have enough time to try and get Vips for 12th place if he can? We'll have to wait and see as we're into the closing stages of this feature race now then. As Rosenqvist trying to lap Kamara again. And, well, Kamara not really helping out. But Rosenqvist does pull a lap on him eventually there then. And, well, that's that really. He's got 4 laps left in this feature race. And it's Kamara finding himself a lap down, probably realising he hasn't got the pace and would rather get this race over with if he can, as now Rosenqvist starts to get away from him at this stage as they go around turn 3 on the track. And now down through the flat out turn 4. Out of the turn we go, using a lot of curb on the outside as they will now approach the quick left-hander now then on the track, as Rosenqvist is getting close to his 2nd victory this season. Russell looking like he's going to lose some more time in the Drivers' Championship as a result, and looks like he can only manage 4th in this race, as he will now come up now then towards turn 3. And as mentioned, he'll lose more time in the Drivers' Championship as a result, as they go down the hill through the right-hander and then up towards the quick left-hander on the track he will go, as he flicks the car in. And the Red Bull Academy driver doing a good job at this stage now then, as he comes off the turn and now up towards the chicane he'll go. And at least he'll be starting ahead of Rosenqvist tomorrow for the sprint race. He'll be looking to try and take advantage of that if he can, as they round the S's now then on the track, as he uses quite a lot of curb on the outside now then before approaching the right-hander. Meantime, 3 laps remaining for Felix Rosenqvist. He started lap 40 of 42 now then, so 3 laps to go for the race leader. And as you can see, he is continuing to pull away from Sergey Kamara. Kamara feeling it's probably a waste of time trying to close up to the guys in front, and looks like he's going to settle down now and just get this race over with and move on to the sprint race tomorrow and try and see if he can make some progress from there. So meantime, Matsushita is a little bit far back, I think, to get Yuri Vips. So I think Vips has just got enough of a gap, I feel, to stay in front of Matsushita in his remaining few laps. And Vips has been trying to close up to Ghiotto as much as possible, but at this stage it looks ever so unlikely that he will try and get the move done on the Italian here at Budapest, as he rounds the left-hander on the track, coming up the hill towards the final turn. And so now up towards the final turn now then will go Yuri Vips, as he will now head down the pit straight. And he now starts his lap 40 of the race. So, but we'll wait and see anyway, as we come close towards the end of the race now then. Here's Rosenqvist, who's just coming around the final few turns. And soon he'll be starting his penultimate lap of the race, as he rounds the 2nd to last corner. And now up towards the final turn goes the Swede, as he now rounds the final corner and onto the pit straight he will go. And Rosenqvist starts his penultimate lap of the feature race. He starts lap 41 of 42 here at lap 41 of 42 here at as you can see at Budapest. So we've got 2 laps remaining, and Rosenqvist looking good to get his 2nd victory of the season and to increase his lead to 7 points in the Drivers' Championship, as it looks like Matsushita is just going to hold on to that bonus point for the first lap of the race. But we will wait and see in these 1 3/4 laps to go here at Budapest. Meantime, let's have a look and see what Matsushita is doing. He's still got a long way to try and close up to Vips, so I think Vips has done enough to hold on to 12th place within these remaining laps, and looks like 12th place is going to go the way of the Estonian. So now, as you can see, round the left-hander goes Nobuharu Matsushita, as he comes out the final turn up towards the final corner now then, and they'll soon go onto the pit straight. on the track. Down the pit straight we go, and Matsushita, what's the gap between him and Vips anyway? We'll have a look anyway as they come down towards turn 1 on the track. And the gap, let's have a look. The gap is coming up towards turn 1 now. Then the gap is 4.3 seconds. That's how that looks, and I think that's a bit too far for Matsushita to try and reel in. Meantime, here comes Nobuharu Matsushita, who rounds the final turn now then, and sorry, here comes Felix Rosenqvist now then, and Felix Rosenqvist is about to start his final lap here in the feature race. It's been a brilliant race for the Swede, a dominant race for him. He started on pole position, initially got the jump, Lynn got the jump of him at the start, but was able to try and catch him back up, and was able to overtake him again. And then from that point, he was just able to pull away and control his race. And without the pit stop, he's just been absolutely flying. And at this stage, if he can just keep this up, he's looking good to take his second victory of the season and up the gap between himself and Russell to up to 7 points in the Drivers' Championship. And, well, it'll be the perfect start to the weekend for Felix Rosenqvist, as he now just goes around the right-hander. And of course, Rosenqvist is moving to the top class next season, let's not forget, with Mars Grand Prix on a loan deal from his new employees, Eldorado Racing, next season. So he'll be looking to do a good job if that is the case. So he won't be in GP2 next season. He will be in the top class next season, as he now comes down the hill now then towards the final few turns. And Felix Rosenqvist has done an absolutely fantastic job now then, as he will now come up towards the second to last corner. Rosenqvist has done a phenomenal job, and he's just been in full control since he took the lead from Lynn in the early stages of the race then. Around the final corner then goes Felix Rosenqvist, and after a dominant race, it is going to be Felix Rosenqvist who wins the feature race here at Budapest. Congratulations to him and the Red Bull Academy team. A dominant display from Rosenqvist. He now increases his lead in the Drivers' Championship, and a well-deserved win for the Swede. Camaro will cross the line 18th. Sergey Sirotkin will cross the line in second place. A brilliant result for the EMR driver. That will help him out in his Drivers' Championship cause. Mitch Evans is going to cross the line in third to round off the podium. A good result for him. It's going to be fourth place for George Russell, losing points to Rosenqvist in the Drivers' Championship, but be able to try and gain that back tomorrow if he can in the sprint race, because he'll be starting ahead. Gasly will cross the line fifth in the Academy, 4 championship points going to him. 6th place for Jolyon Palmer in the Willows Grand Prix car. It's going to be 7th for Lance Stroll, adding 2 points to GRM's points account, so P7 for Lance Stroll. It's going to be Louis Razier who rounds out the points, and he will be starting on pole for the sprint race tomorrow. So Razier will finish in 8th. Nato for now in 9th because of the investigation. Goliath will cross the line in 10th place in the Holy Trinity racing car. It's going to be P11 for Luca Ghiotto in the EMR. And then it's going to be 12th for Vips, 13th for Nobuharu Matsushita. As predicted, he wasn't going to be able to catch up to Vips in the end. So Matsushita 13th for the Japanese driver, 14th for Yora, 15th for Eriksson, 16th for teammate Fenestras, and 17th for Nyck de Vries. And there you have it then. In the end, Felix Rosenqvist is the winner here at Budapest. A dominant race here at the feature race. And so that will be that then, really. So at the end of that, guys, after all of that, here was the results of the feature race here at Budapest. It was Felix Rosenqvist who won the race with Sergey Sirotkin in second. Mitch Evans was third. George Russell 4th. Pierre Gasly 5th. Jolyon Palmer 6th. Lance Stroll 7th. Louis Razier in 8th. Norman Nato for now in 9th. With Sean Goliath 10th. Luca Ghiotto 11th. Yuri Vips in 12th. With Nobuharu Matsushita 13th. Lucas Yora in 14th. And if we scroll down the rest of the field, it's Joel Eriksson 15th, Sacha Fenestras 16th, Nyck de Vries in 17th, with Sergey Camaro, the last of the finishes, in 18th, and the 4 retirements with Santiago Urrutia, Dan Ticktum, Alex Lynn, and Lando Norris. They were the retirements of the feature race. Let's see who set the fastest lap of the race then, who's going away with the bonus point, and it was Nobuharu Matsushita with a 1 minute 28.037. So to capitalise on something, Matsushita will get hold of the bonus point for the fastest lap of the race. He was 200 quicker than the eventual race winner Felix Rosenqvist. So there you have it then, guys. That has been it for the feature race for IFMC GP2. GP2 will be back tomorrow for the sprint race. But stick around now, guys, because coming up next is race 1 for IFMC GP3, which sees Lucas Di Grassi on pole position ahead of Jack Aitken in second and Joseph Newgarden in third. So if you want to go and grab a quick drink, you can. The podium for GP2 is coming your way just after this. But until then, I've been JWF1. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Enjoy the GP2 podium.